Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to day 45 of Commercial Diving School. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe to the channel, leave a like if you enjoyed, and leave any comments or questions for me down below. So for today, we're continuing with diving at the same dive station, basically working on the same stuff. And I actually didn't get to dive again today. My job today was basically comms and helping out wherever I could. Um, so, uh, yeah, we basically, after muster, we headed to the hat room, got our hats, headed over to the dive station, set everything up, and then immediately got divers in the water. I think for the pipe, we didn't worry about it too much today, since it's the end of the week. We basically, I think, got the last bolts on to the pipe, and then after that, we basically were done. So we finished that kind of project up in the morning. Um, if you don't know what I'm talking about, in my previous videos, I mentioned that we started working on basically a pipe that all fits all together, and each flange gets a gasket and 8 bolts that goes in each one. And there's a flange in the middle, and then there's flange on each end that go to 90s on each end, 90-degree pipes. So yeah, we begun that at the beginning of the week, and we've been working on it basically all week, taking it apart, putting it back together, and then we actually took it apart and brought it up again to the top side, and then we brought it down again. So we did all that this week, and we basically finished it up this morning, and then we were basically done with that. Our instructor also kind of wanted a topography, which is kind of like a layout of the bottom of that dive station. So we're like, what's down there, basically like big rocks and stuff like that, like kind of map out the area, which is kind of a big thing in diving. I remember even in my dive master, a portion of getting your dive master from Patty is doing a topography, which is basically doing a survey of an area or a dive location and mapping out the bottom and actually making a drawing. So I think we're working on a drawing this weekend to turn into the instructor, as part of like a diving kind of project. So there's that. And then also today we were continuing with the pile jackets. We were really trying to see how fast we could do it. We were timing, the instructor was timing the divers on how fast they could do it, and then he would time the next group on how fast they could take everything off. And by everything, what I mean is there's so you have basically like a pile that's square, obviously a lot bigger. It's probably about this big, and it's square, and it's all cement, and it goes all the way down to the bottom, and it kind of pokes out of the water about 4 feet. So what you have to do for a pile jacket job is basically there's clamps, and they're basically 2x4, well, not really 2x4s, more like 4x4s, pieces of wood, and then there's metal bars that clamp the wood together. So if you've ever seen like a wooden clamp that you like kind of screw it together and it goes, it starts shutting so it can clamp something together. It's kind of like that, but these are real big so that it can fit around that, concrete column. So what you basically do is put the clamp on the bottom, and then you there's a 2-piece platform that's kind of, about 3 feet by 3 feet, and that is supposed to sit flat like this, like on top of the clamp. And then on top of that is where your pile jackets sit. And the pile jackets are made of fiberglass. They're 2 pieces, so you can obviously, stick them on over the pile, kind of like a jacket pile jacket. So those two pieces go together. They sit on that little platform made of wood, and then you put your top clamp on the top of that pile jacket, and then you can also put a strap around the pile jacket to keep it together, and then you put a second pair of the two piece of pile jacket together on top of that. So all of those pieces go together to make up a pile jacket job, so that you can fill that void of the jacket between the jacket and the standing pile that's already there. There's a void in there that you fill but pump with concrete, and that's how you reinforce the pile. And what we were told today was you don't get any of that stuff back. Like, once you put all of that stuff on there, fill it with cement, you're not getting your pile jackets back, your clamps back, all that stuff back. It's just, made to basically be filled with cement and just left down there for structure purposes. So basically, that's what I talk about when I'm talking about we're setting up a pile jacket and then taking it all back off and then putting it on again and taking it back off and timing each group to see how fast they can do it. I think we had somebody disassemble it in like 20 minutes or so, and then we even had some seniors. The senior class had 2 divers come over, and they wanted to see how fast they could do it, to kind of show us up kind of thing. So they did a really good job. Also, they're like hatting themselves up by themselves and taking a knee on the ground, kind of like senior stuff you would expect from people that are further along in the program. So that was kind of cool to see. And then we basically finished up a little bit early, got our dive station cleaned up, and then we headed back to the classroom, and we kind of had a talk amongst the class just about general things like everybody stay on their job. If you're doing something, make sure you're paying attention. When you're filling out dive sheets, make sure you really fill them out. At least put the date on it. Just a lot of important things we wanted to share as a group together. But that was basically the last day of this week. Now, next week, I know we have our midterm coming up, which we're gonna be tested on dive charts and chambers and dive medicine, physics, physiology. So all that stuff we've already learned in the classroom, we're gonna do a big test on for our midterm. And then we're also gonna be diving next week. So stay tuned for that if you're interested in hearing about that. I also got the weekly recap this weekend, talking about, recapping this whole week, how it went. I'm actually pretty tired. This week was a lot of work, and today was especially hot. It's actually been getting a little cooler, the weather, and it's been a lot more overcast. The water's actually cooled down a little bit. Like, we're just basically putting on a long sleeve t-shirt for a top, but I've actually put on not only the bottom 5mm neoprene, but also the top with long sleeves and my coveralls when I dove this week. But today it actually warmed up a little bit, and it was super muggy as well, so you got like, very sweaty really fast. So yeah, like I said, really tiring week of diving. Anytime I'm around water too, I get tired. Like if I go to the beach and stuff, I think it's just like water, like being in water and swimming and moving around in water, or whatever you're doing around water, you seem to get tired a lot faster. And that's, from my experience so far, that's, not any different when it comes to commercial diving school. So yeah, that's all I have for you guys in this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked, please leave a like. Subscribe if you have not already, and leave any comments or questions for me down below. Hope you guys have a great one, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.